Welcome back to Factorio Seablock, and it's time to get this new metals thing going that we need to get running. So first of all, I'm just going to disable this system, our bobmonium system. I'm going to instead change the recipe over to the bobmonium chunks sorting, and then we're going to need to send some kind of this down. We need to deal with, we need to put a filter inserter. There we go. Because we only want the crushed bobmonium coming this way. So if we just, where is it going to be? Oh, I thought it would have been in there. That's tungsten. There we go. So it's only going to insert the crushed bobmonium. The other side of things should go straight into our landfill, which is just fine. And then we're going to need to process this heading down this way somewhere. We just finished hydro refining the research, which gives us a bunch of things, one of which is the flotation cells. So we're going to need to build those, but in the meantime, we also need some water. So first of all, I guess we should think about where we're going to put this. So let's assume that we build down for now, and if I run out of room, well, we can always build the other way direction again. So let's take a look at one of the flotation cells. I just want to build one just so that I've got an idea of how much room it takes up, and then we'll see if we can connect everything together here. We're going to need to insert purified water to it as well, so I think I built a hydro plant somewhere. Let's put this flotation cell down first. Yes, let's put it this side. Let's assume that we're going to have purified water running in this side. So let's just take a look at that recipe. So we need purified water, which comes from regular water in a hydro plant. So we can put the hydro plant wherever we want, assuming that I did build a hydro plant. Hydro plants, I've got 2 of them. Well, that's bigger than I was sort of expecting, but that will do. Let's leave a little bit of room so we can get, you know, a return line going up there, and that's roughly where the sorting plant is anyway. So we can tell it to make purified water. And I think it's the bottom one, actually. That may be the bottom one. I'm also going to need a clarifier. Where's the clarifier? There we go. And let's just put it up here and connect it across. So we're going to get rid of the saline water, which is the other output of this thing. And we are going to instead, there we go, just take purified water. Which this is first of all going to need to input right there. Yep. So we need a pump, offshore pump. Do I not already have one? I normally have one of those. Let's just grab one of those. That'll give us some water, and we also need some water fill. So I don't want that much water fill. I'd just like a small patch, please. In fact, even that much may be enough. So, it turns out, placing water kills you. I'm not so sure I'm so impressed with that. Yeah, right. Let's head back down there. Where's my poor corpse? Let's take everything back. Can I just take everything? What? Where's my... Ah, I have got everything back. Good. Really? Fine. Let's see. Can we... I'm going to have to stand back and put more water fill here. There we go. Will that give me enough to get a pump? Yes, and I know you're all laughing. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Who could have known that digging some water could kill you? Anyway, we're going to choose the bobmonium recipe. We're going to get some other stuff out of it, and we'll need to deal with the output, which is just sulfuric wastewater. We can just clarify it, but we can also get rid of the red geodes as well. And then we just want to feed this in. So if we just make some extras. And then we can just feed this across like that. That's everything it needs aside from the input. So again, just insert here, and I probably need to make some more medium poles. So nice to be able to make those without any problems waiting for the what was it called? The wood bricks to actually go and be scavenged from nothing. Fine, so we're now able to make obmonium chunks, which means we can then put them back on a line going this way. And just to make sure, I guess, why don't we just put them... how can we do this nicely? I sort of want to keep these separate. So maybe if we have a belt right there, we can use new style inserters. In fact, that'll need... Yeah, we haven't seen one of those yet, but we will. So we definitely want another filter inserter as well. And then we are just going to filter that way and choose the pickup location. Then we can say, I don't know, I want the chunks. Change that to be pickup, drop. And there we go. We got the chunks ready, and we can send them this way. Make some more belt. And insert them directly into this ore sorting facility, which will produce 5 different outputs. We're only handling 3 at the moment. The slag is going this way. 2 filter inserters here, sending ores this way and this way. This one making glass, of course. And then we're going to need 2 more. So let's just connect this back up. All right, that will start everything up, or at least it will start until it actually it can't deal with, is it cobalt and zinc? I think so. So we need to handle the output here, which is sulfuric wastewater. And do we have a use for it over here? I don't think we do. I think it's going to be significantly farther across. Where are you? Is there anywhere I can send it that means I don't have to waste it or don't have to clarify it? I've got a feeling it's needed for our ore system somewhere. So that is just sulfuric acid. Sulfuric wastewater is right here, and we do actually use quite a lot of it. It's the output for this system, but that's okay. We can use it as an input coming all the way over here. Okay, let me get a pipeline going and do that off camera. And there's the pipeline. So that's running now. We've got 1 flotation cell. Probably not going to be anywhere near enough. And it's now outputting red geodes. They're just going to get it boxed. The sulfuric wastewater goes into a pipeline. That goes back to the rest of our system. Again, that will only bolster our ore production, so that's good. And now this is going to freeze up. So it needs, let's just make sure we can see what ores they are. Zinc ore and cobalt ore. So we need to manage them somehow. Fine. So if we see what we can make with this, we've got cobalt and zinc. Cobalt is going to need ore processing, cobalt smelting. Is there anything else we can do? I guess we can put them through blast furnaces, but we need carbon to do it as well. Cellulose paste, we don't have that yet. So why don't we just box that up for now? Okay. And let's see what we can do with zinc. Zinc is, watch this be the same thing. No, actually, it's different. We need molten lead, we need zinc ore, and we'll get both zinc and lead back out again, and some sulfur dioxide. Oxygen's easy to get. We've seen that before. I think that's even something we're already doing for the lead production, isn't it? Is it oxygen? Yeah, it is already oxygen. So we're getting molten lead right here. So instead of casting it into lead plates, we can send it up and around, and then join it with zinc production up here somewhere. So we're going to need zinc ore alone and get rid of the cobalt. That is both fine. I guess what we could do is put filter inserters here. There's no reason why we can't, you know, something like that. We should have enough materials for those now. We don't need to worry too much about spending those things. We're actually running a decent amount of iron. We have a look in here. That's got hundreds. I've already dumped hundreds into the steel setup, so yeah, we should be pretty fine. We're going to just need to choose zinc for this one, so zinc ore. And let's say cobalt for this one. Now, what's usual with these processes, and the thing you normally have to deal with, is the fact that by getting more metals out, you'll get reduced amounts of tin and presumably silicon. Not quite sure of the exact amounts. We can check about those things. But for now, I can just choose to box this. In fact, let's grab a steel chest and just box the cobalt for now. We could just directly insert into that box, to be honest. Yeah, why don't we just do that? Saves putting things into belts. And are you running? No. It's just, yeah, it needs to produce tin. So what we may well want to do is, I don't think we have loaders yet, do we? No. What do loaders actually take? Are they in this pack? Oh no. Please be loaders. No, we're not having loaders in Seablock. Ah, well, I guess we got to do it the other way then. We can just build up a buffer to make sure we are getting. Let me just get another steel box. Actually, we can just build up something here like this, and just build a nice buffer that we can no doubt replace later. For now, it's working or going to work just fine, and that will ensure things are running for the moment. So here's our zinc line. We're going to need to bring over the liquid lead from here. And that means we need to make sure this isn't frozen. Now, why are you frozen? You don't have enough lead yet. You are frozen because not enough, not enough stuff is coming in, not enough mineral sludge to produce enough lead. So it's not frozen, it's just on very, very low amounts. Let's remove that for a second and put the lead back in. Fine, that is actually connected there, don't worry. So for the moment then, I guess we can just disable that recipe, and then this should start filling with molten lead once we start that process, which means that we can then send it elsewhere. That should do. And yeah, just so that we've got connectivity in case we need it in future. All right, so we're going to need to bring it all the way over here, aren't we? So let's just send it this way. Anywhere here will do for now. We can always move it later with our bot system. And that's going to be pretty much it. We're also going to need the oxygen as well. So I'm going to need a separate pipeline for that. And that means I need to build more pipe. Okay, and let me get everything ready for that part. I'll do it off camera. And quick correction, I don't think we're going to need this line, so I'm just going to re-enable that actually. Lead. Okay, and I'm just going to disable this for a second. I want this to build up with some ingots, because I think this whole thing is just a sacrificial process. Well, not a sacrificial process, a loop. So we've got 60 molten lead produces 6 lead ingots. Okay, but to get molten lead, 12 lead ingots gives us 120 molten lead. So essentially 6 lead ingots should give us 60 molten lead. So if we've got enough ingots in the process, we should be able to design a loop that just feeds the lead backwards and forwards through an induction furnace. And we don't need anything else. That means we need just a chemical furnace and an induction furnace. So I think I may have both of those. Let's take a look. Chemical furnace. Do I have one? I thought I did, but I'll just make one. That's no trouble. So instead of using this pipeline for lead, we're not going to need it, I hope. We'll have to wait for this to make some lead, of course. But we've got some oxygen coming over here, which is exactly what we want. And then that's going to go into our chemical furnace. And that should be coming into my inventory in a second. Where are you? There we go, chemical furnace. Is it going to be... Ooh, no recipe? Okay, we need advanced zinc smelting. That shouldn't be a problem, zinc. In fact, advanced ore refining. Does that give us another recipes? Ah, that's catalysts. We don't need that just yet. This only needs 50 yellow and red. Do we have enough? It looks like we'll have enough for that. So I will wait for that to finish and come back after that. In the meantime, we're also just going to need to put the induction furnace down. So I would assume we can just put it something like here. We'll see where it allows us to put inputs. But you get the idea. Stuff will pass backwards and forwards between these two. It might have to be staggered if the inputs like are on that side or something like that. You can always go that way, I suppose, and then just put just put an inserter back here or something like that, and that will feed only lead stuff back down because this will have a lead recipe selected, like that, and that should work. So let's just make sure everything's connected up, and then we just need to wait for that research to complete. Okay, that zinc smelting is now finished, so we can both select zinc ingots. Where our inputs and outputs? Of course, they're in the wrong place. So I guess I've already melted some stuff. That's okay because it's not far away. And our oxygen just needs to come in this side. So if we just select you and let's just bring the oxygen sort of this way. That'll do. There we go. And then let's just remove that power pole. A few more copper, and then we just need power again. Okay, so you should output molten lead. We've got inputs, we just need the nickel now. Sorry, the zinc now, I think. So let's send it this way with some transport belt. And then that should start up, and then we'll have to deal with the output, which is... what is the output for this? That's nickel. We want zinc ore. Sulfur dioxide. Can turn it back into sulfuric acid with purified water, which we have not too far away. Sulfuric acid we can then ship back to our ore system. If we have a look over here, it's used right there, and it's it may well be constraining things, or is it just the slag that's constraining things? Let's just have a look. We've got plenty of sulfuric acid. However, I was a bit concerned. I'm wondering whether this would build up. It looks like it is actually building up, not reducing. So I think we have enough sulfuric acid. We can send it back if we want to, but for now I think we can just throw it away. No harm done there. So that will be a, well, no, it's a gas at the moment, so a flare stack will do the job. And do I have enough belt to make this? Just about. There we go. Is that flare stack built? Looks like it has. We can just get rid of all of you and connect it directly. So we should get zinc out of this, and we should get lead. The lead in turn should be fed back down into this, which will be fed back around again. So the only thing we're left with that we have to deal with is the zinc ingot. So we'll have pure zinc essentially out of this. So from zinc ingots, we can go with the usual method, go into molten zinc with the induction furnace, and from there we can make solder that way with tin, bronze, brass. Brass is probably where we want to go with this. So we want them in zinc ingots, we don't want to go further, which means I want to start up brass smelting. There you go. So the brass smelting work, let's just get back through to that again. Molten brass is going to need us to combine that with copper ingots. Now copper we have a fair amount of, but we are normally processing it into plate rather than casting it into just ingots, which is at this stage. So we could do some kind of splitter to make sure we have separate copper. That's one option. So we could put a separate process in place, grab some copper there via a splitter or something like that. and send it up and across and towards our plant where we put another blast furnace in place. Or we can just split on the output of this. That might be an interesting idea. I'd rather like the direct insert though. Yeah, we can't really turn it back from plate into... Can we get any other way of getting copper ingots? It's pretty much just through ore, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe we should split that on a belt or something along those lines. Which means I'm going to need to go underground and make a lot more belt. Okay, so here we have that copper running into a new blast furnace up here. I'm going to need to fuel this up with something, but for now it's fine. And then we're going to put an induction furnace right next to it. And actually, do I want to offset it? You know, I'll just put it here. And it's fine because we can just use these extended inserters to insert into this. So we'll just insert from here, grab it from there, and then choose brass. We may want to choose a faster inserter than that. There we go. So it's now making brass. And just like normal, we're going to want to change this through casting machines. Do I have casting machines? I do. And something like that with some pipework. And we have working brass manufacturing. There we go. Is that not linked up? Now it is. Okay, so we will then have the ability to make brass on this line. Another inserter. And some power poles, and we should be done. Brass. So we can box that up, but that's going to be used with another setup that we're going to do. I'm not sure if we've got time in this episode because we've got brass going, but where we're heading for with all of this, let's take a look at brass. What can we do with it? Well, here's what we can do with it. We can make kinetic test target plating, which, as you might imagine, is useful for the grey science, or military science, whatever you want to call it. And there's also a waste byproduct as well, so that's no problem. And we also use it to make the ingredient that we combine with more brass, so we need to make this sub-platform as well. That takes brass and invar. This takes brass and invar and a bit more steel. This then also needs just electronic circuits for the rest. Yeah, it's just electronic circuits and carbon. So the only remaining thing is invar. Invar comes from molten invar, which comes from steel and nickel. So that's why nickel is one of the next things to do. It's not terribly complicated. Do I have enough time to do this? Let's have a look. Maybe. We just need carbon monoxide, which we don't just run a car and you know, connect a hose to its exhaust pipe or something. We're going to need to produce that somehow. And handily, we can make it using purified water, I think. Yeah, just some carbon and purified water. We need coal processing 2 to do it, mind you. Coal processing 2. Let's get you started. May have to leave that to the next episode, but we can take that. Go back this way. Invar, nickel, carbon monoxide, and some nickel. And I think we're boxing the nickel up, are we? Is it right there? Oh, I can't see because this is on. Yep, we got like 500 nickel already. Ugh. Let's just actually make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Invar. Yep, there we go. Nickel ore in a blast furnace, just as before, with advanced nickel smelting as well. So that's another bunch of research I'll need to do as well. But that will produce nickel ingots. And nickel ingots we want to store in the same way that we're maybe storing... actually, yeah, because we're going to need to combine that with steel, aren't we, to get invar. So we're going to need to also make steel ingots. Now, down here at the moment, it's going straight into plates, which is going just directly through a furnace. We're just burning iron. So if we just go and look through here and look through need for steel ingots, we can just change this processing across from its sort of primitive version that we've got right now, which has just got some carbon running here. And that's where we're going to have to make sure that carbon is being supplied from over there somewhere once I've got all this hooked up. But we're going to need to take iron ingots. So again, what we might want to do is split up here somewhere and produce steel using a second blast furnace. Now, I can probably move that landfill system out because it's not being used at the moment because I don't have enough slag over after producing all the ores to produce this system. So we have enough room. We can maybe split it between our existing iron and the steel, which is the same approach as doing here with these furnaces. How much iron do I actually have? Steel do I actually have? It's building up. I've got to go through this again. I don't want steel plates, I want steel ingots. Let's just look for steel ingots. And of course I can't find steel ingots. It's one of those wonderful things. It has to be capitalized. Fine. So yeah, if you add oxygen to iron ingots, and we'll get steel ingots, which of course we can then combine with nickel, and that will get us Invar. So I'm going to do that next episode. I think I'm going to leave it here, and then next episode we'll do the steel, the Invar, and then hook everything back together. I think we'll do military science next episode as well, which will get everything done in one episode. So in this one we've got flotation cells going, and if by all means, as you can see, it's what's it at? Why is that blocked? That should be going all the way. Oh, we're just producing enough of it that it's not being used. That's good, I guess. Oh no, hang on. That doesn't look right. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing... What? What? What's going on there? Let's just get rid of that and... I don't know, one piece of copper pipe, please? Okay, now that's better. Fine, that shouldn't block the system up any longer. So the flotation cells, they're not particularly quick. They will maybe produce enough for our system at the moment because we've not got terribly much going, but we can just 12 or 16 of them you sort of need to keep up with, again, this kind of system, but we're not too concerned with it anymore. I'm pretty much fine with it. Okay, hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, and feel free to comment and laugh at my death at killing myself by putting waterfill down. Otherwise, we'll see you next episode to get military science going, and that'll be 3 science packs, so we'll be putting them up here somewhere, and then getting some research done for some decent turrets. Hope you join me for that one. Thanks a lot for watching.